But let's take a look at who's eating good in the neighborhood, presented by Applebee's. And we've got two teams that are eating really well right now, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And there's some matchups, Rodney, that are just intriguing in this game. So let's start with the Philadelphia defense going against the Kansas City offense.
Hey, Coach, the first thing I wouldn't mind mentioning is the experience of the Chiefs, and and the experience is huge because they've been to a bunch of Super Bowls, so they know what to expect. They know what to expect from media day. They know how to balance their time with their family and still, have time to get rest and workouts and things like that. So that's a very important aspect of this, balancing your time and just having that experience and understanding that, hey, we can keep our composure. And as the week goes on, we can continue to build our excitement for the game. But just being there, knowing how to handle the week, knowing how to handle all the tickets, that's huge, all the experience the Chiefs have.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You've got those veteran guys who've been to two in a row. And Philadelphia was there a couple of years ago, but that roster has turned over. They've got some guys there, but they got a lot of new guys, young guys that haven't been there. And it
Yep.
is going to be a new experience for quite a few of them. But this is, I think, another area where Kansas City has an advantage. And we've kind of knocked them for it. All these close games during the regular season. And, oh, they haven't blown anybody out. Well, Super Bowls tend to be close, and you have to make plays in the fourth quarter. And to me, Kansas City has done that all year, and they've got a history of doing that. They feel good about themselves in close games.
Absolutely, Coach. And one of the big matchups that I'm thinking about is Jalen Hurts versus Steve Spagnuolo. Can he
Okay.
recognize this pressure-oriented defense, all the different blitzes that Steve's going to run on him? And the thing about Jalen, and we've talked about this, Coach, and I've expressed this to you, the frustration of him holding on to the ball too long. And you can't do that against the Chiefs because just like Spagnuolo, he's going to bring corner blitzes, he's going to bring linebackers, he's going to drop defensive linemen. And then in the rotation of the secondary, you're going to see guys rotate. Guys look like it's cover three, a nickel back going to the deep half. He does a lot to confuse the quarterback. So that's an intriguing matchup. I can't wait to see how Jalen Hurts handle all that pressure.
And we know how Coach Spags brings all that pressure against the pass. Here's what I'm interested in seeing. What is he going to do, and what is he going to design to stop the running game and put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands? Okay, Philadelphia has lost 3 games this year. 30 passes against Atlanta, 30 passes against Tampa, and then they played Washington and Jalen Hurts got hurt and Kenny Pickett came in. They threw 28 passes. Their ideal game is 40 to 45 runs and 20 passes. So if I'm the Chiefs, I'm sitting there, how can I take the ball out of Saquon's hand and make Jalen Hurts throw 30 to 35, 40 passes? Then I'm going to have the edge. And I'm curious to see what Coach Spags is going to dial up to turn those RPOs into passes rather than runs.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, I'm looking at Kellen Moore. Will he stay patient enough in the run game? And we know about the Chiefs defense. I've told you this many a times before. I trust the Chiefs defense more than any defense. I feel like they're going to load up. They got some big guys up front. They got some physical linebackers. And it's not like you can just push the Chiefs around when you're trying to run the football. So I think this is going to be one of their most stern tests, trying to push the Chiefs around on the defensive side of the ball to have success running the football. They're going to load up the box. They're going to bring safeties, corners. And then the thing they're going to do is they're going to move Chris Jones around. When he's in the interior of that defense, you got to make sure that you're double teaming him with Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and those guys in the interior of that defense. But also when he goes out wide, then you have your 2 all-pro tackles, Mulata and Lane Johnson. They're going to have to match up and do a great job. So I don't necessarily worry about Chris Jones. It's those other guys, George Karlaftis and Mike Dana. Those are the guys that when I talk to Chris Jones say, hey, these guys make a huge difference on our defense, and they're definitely going to have an impact.
Yeah, and where are those safeties going to be and who's coming and corner blitzes and different things. And they'll be dialed up to stop the run, no question about it. And I think you are so right with Kellen Moore. He's got to be patient. And if I'm Philadelphia and I'm Coach Sirianni, I'm looking at this and saying, you know what? The only games we've lost this year are when we threw 30 passes. Now, some of that is when you get behind a little bit and you have to throw. But if you know that, you would say, hey, we got to make sure we get 40 runs in this game. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, and that's not sexy football, but that's the way I'd be thinking if I were the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Coach, you just said it. It's sex. It is sexy football. Getting to the Super Bowl, running the football. Playing very physical at the line of scrimmage, using your offensive line, taking pressure off of Jalen Hurts, and we've seen the type of impact that run game has had on Jalen Hurts. He looks like a different quarterback with the poise that he's playing with. So I think you're spot on. Just, you got to be as physical as possible. One guy that I'm paying close attention to, the guy that replaced Nakobe Dean, was Oren Burks. When he first came in, his first start, he didn't play particularly well. But the two games after that, I thought he balled. He played extremely well, forcing some fumbles, making some tackles. That's a guy that has really stepped up and really kind of earned the opportunity to take his place, to take Nakobe's place.
Yeah.
I think he's played well for him.
Yeah, flipping it to that side of the ball, you've got this Philadelphia defense that has been so dominant. They're leading the league in all these statistical categories, playing against the Kansas City offense that statistically hasn't been great. But we all know that stats don't mean anything in the Super Bowl. And they're playing against Patrick Mahomes. What do they have to do? What do you think Philadelphia has to take away to come out being successful this week?
You're talking about on the defensive side?
Defensive side, yeah.
Well, Andy Reid, and we've gone against Andy Reid plenty of times in a Pro Bowl. He wants to run the football as much as, we want to make him, they want to pass the ball. They want to run the football. And then when it comes third down and long, you have to stop Patrick Mahomes from all the scrambling, because that's what takes the life out of you, coach. It's third down and 10. It's third down and 12. He scrambles, makes two guys miss. And he gets a first down and he gets pumped up and it gets the crowd going, it gets your teammates going. And it is a knife in the chest of the defense when you've worked hard on first, second, and third down. But also, coach, I'm looking at Travis Kelce. Who's going to be on Travis Kelce? Who's going to hit him? Who's going to touch him? When he's in there, and if he chips the end, 100% of the time, he's going to come out at about 3 to 4 yards. He's going to turn around, catch the ball, make one guy miss, and fall for 8 yards. Now it's second down and 2. You have to take away those easy completions to Travis Kelce.
I agree. And I think that's going to be a key in this game. We saw in the championship game, Zach Ertz have a big game against Philadelphia. Philly's got some very good corners. They've got great pass rushers. But what Washington did was throw the ball quick to their tight end. Well, Andy Reid's going to look at that tape, and he's going to say, I got some pretty good tight ends. I've got Noah Gray. I've got Travis Kelce. I can work the middle of the field, throw it quick, not let that rush get there, and see how they handle that. How do they stop those tight ends in the middle of the field?
But also I look at Andy Reid, and you have to be prepared for all those trick plays, the misdirection plays, and all the screens and all those fluky plays. So just having discipline, and when you don't know what's going on, just kind of playing safe and cautious, but not letting Andy Reid those, reverse passes and stuff like that, because, he's going to try that, coach.
With 2 weeks to prepare, he's going to dial something up. But you mentioned something that I think is going to be the real key in this game. There's some good running backs, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco and Saquon Barkley and Gainwell. There's some great receivers on the outside, but limiting that quarterback running and scrambling. You've got two quarterbacks that make a ton of plays off schedule. Which defensive line can do that? I think that's going to be critical.
Oh, that's the story of the game right there. And you have two really great scrambling quarterbacks. But to me, nobody's like Patrick Mahomes, because as much as we look at him and say, how can you not tackle him? Nobody's able to tackle him. Nobody's able to stop him. So that's going to be a huge factor in the game, and something that I'm going to be texting you during the games like, Coach, you were right. You were spot on. So really excited about that.
Well, we know Coach Spagnuolo is going to bring some blitzes to come after Jalen Hurts and keep him in the pocket and rush 5 and 6 guys. Be curious to see what Philadelphia does. Do they think they can handle Patrick and keep him from scrambling, just rushing 4 men? That's hard to do.
Yeah, Vic Fangio, he old school coach. You know, he's stubborn. He's set in his ways, and he's going to continue to do the things that got him there at this point. I don't see him blitzing a whole bunch, but I would definitely send Zach Bond. He's an excellent blitzer from the outside, and constantly have Patrick Mahomes trying to figure out if they're coming or not.
Well, we've talked about keys offensively and defensively, coaching, preparation. Time for a prediction now. What are you saying? What are you thinking?
Man, I've been riding the Philadelphia Eagles all year, Coach. I like what they've done, but I can't pick against 1-5. I can't pick against Andy Reid. I did that at the beginning of the season. I said, there's no way they're going to win 3 in a row. And they're in the Super Bowl after 15-1 season. Everybody say they can't play. They don't look this way. Nobody's beating 15, I don't believe. So I got to roll with the Kansas City Chiefs, Coach.
I'm feeling the same way. I think Philadelphia has the edge at just about every position. If you line people up, just player by player, but Mahomes is just special. And I am going to say Kansas City on a field goal on the last play of the game.
Wow. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Now, if that happens, everybody's going to think the game is rigged.
Well, we'll come back after the Super Bowl and talk about that and see how it rolls and talk about officiating and off-season work. But this has been a great year. It's going to be a fantastic game. Lot of build-up. And I do think we have the 2 best teams in football in this. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You took the words right out my mouth. I said, you know what? Just got it right. The Chiefs versus the Eagles. This is what the Super Bowl should be about. Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.